A few years ago, a young man named Harris Street was just your typical university student, at least on the outside. But his life was far from ordinary. You see, while all his mates were busy partying and playing video games, Harry was working around the clock to build an empire. By age 23, he'd already made his first million. And today, his Hostel empire is worth over $80 million. So, here's how he did it. While studying at the University of Otago in New Zealand, Harry lived in a student hostel. It was nothing fancy, but it was comfortable enough. That was until one day when he came back from class to find that someone had stolen his bike. Now, Harry didn't have insurance, so he decided to take matters into his own hand. He placed an ad in the local newspaper offering a reward for the bike, and to his surprise, he received a ton of scam emails. Now, instead of just sitting back and taking the L, Harry decided to turn the tables. He created a website called Scam Alert, which published all the scam emails he'd received right alongside the people who sent them. And this worked like a charm. Other students started using the site, and soon Harry had thousands of users. He even expanded it to other cities and countries. But as the number of users grew, so did the number of problems. It was way too much work for just one guy. So Harry did what any smart entrepreneur would do. He dropped out. Of course, his parents weren't too happy about this, but Harry was determined to make it work. He took out loans, bought a van, and renovated it to create the first ever mobile hostel. Then he hit the road and traveled around Australia, meeting tons of other backpackers along the way. They loved the idea, and many of them even invested in his business. But Harry wasn't done yet. He went on to open 30 more hostels, each one more spectacular than the last. Some are located in iconic places like the Sydney Opera House and the Great Barrier Reef, and together they form what is now known as the HOST Group. So what's the secret to Harry's success? Well, there are many. For example, he built a strong team of professionals who take care of the day-to-day operations of the business. This allows him to focus on the big picture and come up with creative ways to keep growing. He also understands the importance of marketing and has a great online presence. In fact, he's so good at it that other hostel owners send their guests his way. Finally, Harry is always looking for ways to add value. For example, he recently started offering cooking classes at his hostels. Overall, Harry's story is an incredible example of how one man's trash is another man's treasure. All he had to do was spot a problem, come up with a solution, and then follow through. And the rest, as they say, is history. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.